Note that this video is all solely based on opinion, so do not consider any of it as fact. Anyway, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video. Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's like a black sheep of the Mario Kart series. Well, besides those arcade games. I mean, come on, there are features in this game that I believe no other Mario Kart game has, like throwing shells and jumping on the character selection screen. What more could you ask for? Anyway, what I'm going to be doing in this video is my first countdown. And I'm not talking about the characters or the items. I'm talking about the tracks. Some are great, others not so much. Since about a couple of people already did a top 20 Mario Kart Super Circuit tracks list, I decided to do not a top 10, but instead a top 5. Or rather 2 top 5s. One about my favorites, and one about my least favorites.
Wait, there's already a double countdown on your channel?
Yes, there is. Now if you like the tracks that I don't like, great. If there is a track that you do not like as much as I do, that's fine too. It's just my own opinion, and yours may or may not be the same as mine. So, just to get out of the way, let's start with my favorites and have some fun with this. With that being said, let's race to the finish! Number 5. To kick off this list, I chose Ribhon Road. Now I know I've done a video on this track before, so I'll keep it brief. First off, I love how you are riding on the red ribbon. Perfect for wrapping up a present. Speaking of presents, there are outside of the track that act like obstacles, which is pretty sweet. See what I did there? I'll go sit in the corner now. These ramps are really fun to use in this track, as they are not that sparse or small, and this weird ramp in the middle of the track for whatever reason. I also love how there are presents in the background, which has a nice feel of where you're racing. To me, it feels like I'm riding on the red carpet. And the remade version in Mario Kart 8? Fantastic! Unfortunately, the track for that game is DLC, so I never got a chance to race on it. But overall, it's a pretty good racetrack. I'll give it that. Number 4. Oh boy, now we're getting to the big one. Bowser Castles. There are a lot in this game, 4 of them to be exact. Now, if I were to pick my favorite one, it would have to be the second. I love Bowser Castle 2. I like how the obstacles are placed, especially the lava, and it doesn't feel too random. Speaking of lava, this really fits with the track. Because, since it is Bowser's Castle, of course the developers are gonna put that in, let alone with the rest of the Bowser Castle racetracks. Now, I did not put the first Bowser Castle on this list because it feels a bit too simple to me. But the second one feels intense, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Though not too insane that will make you rage and anger every time you get hit by an obstacle or fall in lava every 5 seconds. So yeah, this is what I consider to be my favorite Bowser Castle track. Intense, but very addicting. This track is on fire! And now I'm gonna go sit in the corner again. Number 3. Get ready, y'all, because we're gonna be riding on Sunset Wilds. I like how this track plays out. I mean, we've got some rocks and cacti here and there, we got mud. Yeah, as if the track ain't wild enough already. And dinosaur footprints? However those got here is beyond me. Also, there are lots of boost pads here. In fact, it is so much fun how they are so close and linear to each other that you can pass and speed through the trail. Be careful not to run into any Shy Guy tents, however, as once you do, that Shy Guy will cling onto you, so you better jump like mad because they will slow you down. But that's not even the best part. The best part about this racetrack is how the background changes, as the sky gets darker once you complete a lap, just like any real sunset would do. That is very inspiring to look at, but don't get too distracted by the view or... Yeah. This is an amazing track to race, as you'll be having a fun time once you give it a boost. Yeehaw! Number 2. You know what I like? Cheese. So why not make a racetrack out of one? This is all out cheese galore, and it really fits more how there are mice here. In fact, the developers handled them pretty well too. They came in as obstacles that walk around just to get in your way, and not only that, they also built stuff made out of cheese. I can list them all. There are cheese mountains, cheese volcanoes, cheese forts, and cheese geysers? I don't even know. All in all, I freaking love this racetrack. I mean, it's made out of cheese! What's not to love about that? Oh, great. Speaking of cheese, now I'm hungry. I'll be right back. Before I get to what my favorite racetrack is in Mario Kart Super Circuit, let me give you a few honorable mentions that I didn't like as much as the top 5. The first honorable mention goes to Shy Guy Beach. I don't know why a lot of people hate this track so much. I like how the Shy Guys actually appear out in the background, dressed as pirates trying to shoot cannonballs at you, though they almost always tend to miss. Also, it feels great to how open space this racetrack is, with palm trees and crabs trying to get in your way, which really fits the beach theme. However, it's not really addicting enough to make the list. Lakeside Park. I actually like the premise behind this track, as that volcano in the background starts to erupt and shoot more volcanic rocks once you complete a lap, while the sky transitions into a darker tone, and the jungle theme really fits here. But what bugs me is this ramp next to the wall. Once you accidentally run into one, it'll send you back, leaving you to do it again. Other than that, I like it, but it's also not enough to make it onto the list. And last but not least, Bowser Castle 4, by far the longest track in the game. To be honest, I don't know whether to either choose this or Bowser Castle 2 is my favorite of all the Bowser Castles. But then, I came to a conclusion that I like the second one better. Seriously though, this shortcut doesn't really help much other than to get another item box, which I will give credit for, but it's still pretty fun, I'll give it that. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. My number 1 favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit track is... Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite Super Circuit track has to be the one and only Sky Garden. This frickin' track. What's more there to say about it other than that music sounds amazing? I mean, just listen to this. Okay, I'll tell you more about it. This racetrack feels well open space, as it doesn't look too complex. But there's more to it than that. For a track that is Sky Garden, it looks fantastic. And there's a shortcut that is actually helpful, and not putting you at much risk. I don't even care if there are barely any obstacles other than the vines on the outer boundaries. This is fun. And the remake in Mario Kart DS is just as diverting. It's like that giant from the beanstalk just made a track for Mario and friends to race on. And you know what? I love it. It's enjoyable, not too complicated, sweet turns, awesome soundtrack. This is, without a doubt, my #1 favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit track. But now, it's time to get to my least favorite tracks of the same game. Number 5. Okay, to me, not all Bowser Castle tracks are that good. If I were to choose my least favorite of the bunch, it would have to be Bowser Castle 3. The sad thing is, it looks promising. I mean, it's not too bad. Except there is this one thwomp that really gets me on my nerves. I'm gonna get that iron box, come on, get it, get it, get it! Oh, come on, really? That thwomp just got in my way! Now look at this, that driver just passed me because of you! You know what? You know what I'm gonna call you? I'm gonna name you Tromp. Half troll, half thwomp. Part Donald Trump?
Hey, do you want to build a giant thwomp around Mexico?
Why you ask?
Oh, just so that we can keep these Mexicans away from this so-called prized possession that's Mario Kart Super Circuit and America itself. Also, I'll make them pay for it.
Huh, you make a good point there, old Trump. Also, why is Kamek even here? I would like the idea if he were an obstacle by using magic with his wand before those racers try to cross the finish line, but no. He's just there to be, well, there. I would have liked this track, however, those problems just ruin the experience for me. Sorry. Number 4. I'm not a big fan of ghost tracks like Boo Lake. I don't find it to be interesting, let alone with broken walls and semi-invisible shortcuts. But it's not on this list. Why? Because Broken Pier is even worse. Look at this. Not only are there broken walls and semi-invisible shortcuts, but there are also boos that slow you down when you touch them. Come on, Boo! I thought you were my friend! An item, no less. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, and don't get me started on those shortcuts. Remember what I said about Sky Garden, where there is a shortcut that really helps and doesn't put you at risk? These shortcuts are the opposite of that, as they are hard to see and are very thin. Some of these shortcuts don't even help you pass the other racers. Good luck trying to get through all these, because once you fall off trying, you might as well be from first place to last in a matter of seconds. All I'm saying is, this track flat out annoys me. And we're not even in the top 3 yet. Trust me, it gets worse from here. Number 3. This track feels cheap. Well, not really, but still. Cheap Cheap Island, to me, is far worse than Shy Guy Beach. It's the same beach theme, only this time, there's a change in scenery. Sure, there is a Cheep Cheep in the background, which fits, but I would like it more if they were obstacles on the track, flopping around instead of just having palm trees and crabs again. I also don't like how they overuse grass in this track, as it defeats the purpose of being, you know, a beach. Okay, sure, there are grass and some sand dunes, but that's still overusing it. Nevertheless, that is the least of my worries. What bothered me were the bridges. Once you drive on them, the whole screen starts to shake. Way to make the game feel realistic, Nintendo. I know, I get it. Wooden logged bridges have to be bumpy, and luckily this doesn't happen all the time. But come on! Was it really necessary? Okay, maybe this track does have one redeeming factor. Number 2. You thought Cheep Cheep Island was bad? Wait until I talk about Snowland. Wow, what a clever name for a racetrack! First off, I am confused. Why is the ground shaking this time? At least with Cheep Cheep Island it makes sense because you are driving on a bridge. But here, I don't get it. You are driving on ice. It's not bumpy. Hell, it doesn't look bumpy. It's just solid, flat ice. What's worse is that unlike Cheep Cheep Island, the whole screen trembles throughout the whole entire race. That is unacceptable. What, is there an avalanche going on or something? Move out of the way, you idiots! Can't you see I'm driving away from an avalanche here? Oh wait, I'm stuck on this track. Welp, I'm screwed. Besides that, there are snowmen, trees, and penguins that get in your way and puddles that you fall in. You know, basic ice level stuff. Then there's this ice puddle out the track and... Wait, what? So, am I even driving on ice at all? I don't even know anymore. Let's move on before I start having a brain freeze. I will get to number 1, but first, let me give you some dishonorable mentions. Riverside Park. There's nothing really special here, but I do like the jungle theme to this track, so it is not on the list. Boo Lake. Like I said before, I'm not a big fan of these ghost tracks in this game, but since I find Broken Pier to be worse, I left it off the list. And finally, Rainbow Road. Look, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't like the difficulty of this track. However, it has to be hard, as it is the last track you race in the game. So it is amusing more than annoying, especially with this really big boosted shortcuts. Whee! Oh shit! And now, the moment of truth. My number 1 least favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit track is... Number 1 is actually a tie between these racetracks, simply because they have the same premise. So, I present to you my least favorite track, or tracks, in Mario Kart Super Circuit are Peach Circuit, Mario Circuit, and Luigi Circuit. Or as I like to call them, the Bland Circuit Trilogy! Yay! There are tracks that aggravate me when racing on them. Then there are those that are bland and boring. They are really nothing special. Let's start with Peach Circuit. There are literally no obstacles on the track whatsoever or boost paths to speed through either. But I don't blame them. At least it's the first track you race on in the game. But you know what's weird? How the track looks, because to me, it looks like a... Penis! Yeah, that's the one. Now Mario Circuit is worse in my eyes when it comes to this trope. Sure, it at least has a boost pad, which clearly is where the pit stop should be. And that pit stop is just like in any other racetrack in general. The remake in Mario Kart 8 looks pretty cool though. Then there's Luigi Circuit. The big difference here is the change of the weather. But these puddles are so annoying unless you jump over them. And the music? They have the same song, which gets really repetitive. So all of those tracks are number 1. Not because they frustrated me or annoy me so much,
but because they are just bland, boring, and overall just too simplistic for these Mario Kart tracks. That is why the Circuit Trilogy is number 1 on my list. And those were my top 5 favorite and top 5 least favorite, top 7 least favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit tracks. Now, when I said that besides the Mario Kart arcade games, Super Circuit was the black sheep of the series, I wasn't kidding. Ever since Double Dash came along, they would only take one retro track from this game, and it goes on for later Mario Kart titles. Well, if you include DLC for Mario Kart 8 where there are more than one retro tracks for Mario Kart Super Circuit, then I would stand corrected. But still, nowadays, people don't remember it as much as the other Mario Kart games. But you know what? I enjoy it just as much as the others in the franchise. If you have a Game Boy Advance or a DS, and you're looking forward to the whole Mario Kart series, then go check it out, if you haven't already. It's on eBay for only $15.24, or you can get it from other stores. So what is your favorite and least favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit track, and why? Let me know in the comment section below. You enjoyed this video? Hit the like button if you did. Want more from yours truly? Hit the subscribe button. It will help a lot, and I'll try my best to share more of my content with you all. This has been Danjo the Mysterious. Now if you'll excuse me, I got a Let's Play to finish. Until we meet again.